What's up, y'all? This your girl Kimmy Kim with Mitchell and Mitchell Sip and Spill Show. And yes, we are coming live. And we're gonna be talking about if you know what an alpha male is and what does that mean to you. So we're gonna be coming right up. We want you guys to stay tuned. What's up? Whoever's signing in, hello, hello, hello. We're looking forward to touching base with you. Let us know that you can hear me. Let me know that you can actually see and everything is good. Again, this is Mitchell and Mitchell Sip and Spill Show. This is your girl Kimmy Kim, aka Spill, in the building. What's up, people? What's up, everybody that's signing in? Listen, we looking forward to talking to y'all and having a good night. Are you hello, Facebook user? I can't see your name, but hello. Listen, I want to make sure you got your cup. Make sure you got your cigar. Make sure you got your smoke, your drink, whatever that is that's working for you. We here for it, okay? If you can hear me, let me hear let me see a thumbs up. Let me see a thumbs up. But I guess you can. So all right. So then we coming right on. Don't go nowhere. We will be right here with you guys. All right, let's get it started right away. Tell me who am I speaking with? Let me give me a name, even if you want it to be anonymous.
Mm.
Because I definitely want to read that. We have a Facebook user that is saying they don't want a masculine man. They want someone they can stand over and tell us how to think. Woo. Okay, we shall talk about that. Any more? Any more? Okay. A masculine man. Yes, Lord. I don't know about you, but I definitely want a masculine man for sure. So we're going to be tuning in to you guys. You're going to have my boy Sip coming in just a second. We're getting set up, having a little technical difficulties as we're coming in. I want to make sure that we will be talking to you guys and let you know we are definitely here in the building, and we're going to be coming on in just a few minutes live. So stay right there with us. Oh, it sounds good. You can hear me very good. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Just 1 second, and we will be right back. All right, what's up? What's up? Listen, I see we have a lot of comments, so I want to get right into it. I'm not sure of this person's name. Unfortunately, I can't see it on my end, but I am going to go right into the comments that I'm reading. And currently, right now, the person is saying they don't want a masculine man. They want someone they can stand over and tell us how to think. It sounds good. They want to emasculate it, effeminate, broken men that are slaves. A lot of them think that they can do better than what they already have. They think men are waiting to take the next man's problems off their hands and pick up their problems for themselves. Men may want to have sex with them, but they don't want to marry them. They leave their families for men that don't want them or only want them for sex. They don't consider what their kids want. They say they want marriage, but the ones to file for divorce and try to convince the next man to marry them, not happening. Okay, so commenter, since I can't see your name, you can put your name here, then I'll respond and say your name directly to you. From what I'm understanding, you're saying women don't want a masculine man. They want someone that can stand over them and tell them how to think. And then you're saying it sounds good that they do may want an alpha male, but you're saying that they want someone to basically treat like they are a slave. And you think that a lot of women think that they're better, they can do better than what they have. So I'll stop right there and just say the question is, what is an alpha male? What does that represent? With the things that you're saying, are you considering yourself an alpha male? And you feel like the women that you encounter behaves this way, or this is your projection or your perception of what you think that they're thinking, or that the perhaps that they want. But do you consider yourself an alpha male? That's what I want to know. So if you hear when you say that they want marriage, but the ones to file for divorce and try to convince the next man to marry them, and that's not happening. So with that said, I don't speak for every woman, but what it sounds like, what I'm trying to pick up from you is that if you are alpha male and you're feeling this way, this is your experience. The question that we are asking all women today is, what does being an alpha male mean to you? And I think, Sip is signing in. So what I'm thinking is, as I'm reading this, like I said, if you're here, um, I want you to talk back with me so I can get a better understanding of all your comments. Are you an alpha male and you have experienced being an alpha male? And this is the women that you have encountered, and this what you have experienced. Okay. So you said, why do older, overweight ones think that they being in a sorority, having a degree and a job matters more to men than being attractive and have an amazing personality? Newsflash, it doesn't. Working men don't care about degrees or your income. We damn sure don't care about degrees. You said, I'm a masculine, educated leader. Okay, let me put my headphones on. Let's see here. Okay. How you sound? Sound great. Okay. Add it to the stream. All right. All right.
this right here. This is one. Hold on.
Okay.
Go back to yours.
Okay, so we're back. We're having a little technical difficulties, but you can hear me now, correct? You can hear me now. Okay, great. Okay, that was Sip chiming in, and we was responding or reading all the comments and posting them so we can make sure that we don't miss a comment. And the last that I read, you said, why do older, overweight ones, meaning women, think that being in a sorority, having a degree and a job matters more to men than being attractive and having an amazing personality? Newsflash, it doesn't. Working men don't care about degrees or your income. We damn sure don't care about degrees. And
There you go.
okay, and it said newsflash, it doesn't. So working men don't care about degrees or income. We damn sure don't care about degrees. And he said that I'm a masculine educated leader. The definition of alpha, I don't care about. So the questions that we were basically saying, he said there's an echo. Okay, so we're working on the sound as I'm continuing to speak with you. So we're working on that, yeah. So there's an echo.
Yeah.
Okay. Better now?
That was on over there.
Okay. He said better, so he can hear us.
Oh,
now.
thank you, God.
Go ahead.
Appreciate you. Hey, listen, my brother, I appreciate you for rocking with us today. It's been one of them rough days. So, and no excuse, it is what it is. Got to make shit happen. But I appreciate you, man. I'm listening to all the stuff you're saying. So we're talking about that. And if you got somebody, if you want to call in too, I love the comments. I'm making sure I'm putting them all online so we can see them. I like to be able to show what you're stating about. I think I know who my brother is. I just can't. For whatever reason, it's not showing your name on our system. I don't know why that is. Just saying Facebook user. I hate that. It wasn't doing that before, but now it's doing that. But going back to the point where he was saying that a lot of guys, working class men, don't care about, don't necessarily looking for a woman to make sure that you have this degree and that type of thing. And so, if I'm understanding correctly, an alpha male, which we don't, and we use that term loosely, to kind of, I guess, to go into people's definition or to kind of give some sort of a put a label or a title, an ideology behind a certain type of mentality or whatever. Mm-hmm. And obviously there are women that or there is a statement out there that talks about I guess alpha males and alpha males making this certain type of living a certain type of lifestyle, they're projecting certain things they want and demanding this and demanding that. And so and I'm appreciating you breaking it down and expressing that you know, you're an educated man. You don't really go for the alpha male thing, but you're a leader and a masculine man. And so I guess my question is for the as you were stating, you basically were articulating that a lot of women, there it is. You're saying a lot of women. Why do older, overweight ones think that being in a sorority, having a degree or a job matters more than to men than being attractive? Damn. Wow. Why the older? I gotta put this on here so you can see this, so everybody can see. I want to make sure it's on there. I'm gonna say it again. Why do older, overweight ones think that being in a sorority, having a degree and a job matters more to men than being attractive and having an amazing personality? Newsflash, it doesn't. Working men don't care about degrees or your income. We damn sure don't care about degrees. Go ahead, Billy.
I mean, I was, as I was reading it, I guess but it sounds like this is all experiences that he has experienced with different women. And so I can't speak for women that is overweight, as you said, or in a sorority or have a degree or
why they don't feel that being attractive and amazing personality matters. But I get your responses. You're saying for you that it does not. Um, but as Sip, your question that you put out here was, what does alpha male mean to women, and what is an alpha male? And he is saying, whoever this is, that he is alpha doesn't mean anything to him. Mm-hmm. And then he was given all his reasons as to why. So my answer, as far as, like I said, I can't speak for those particular women. Also, he said they say they want marriage, but the ones to file for divorce and try to convince the next man to marry them. It's a lot of things going on in these statements that you're saying that actually has nothing to do particularly with the alpha male at all. It just sounds like a male experience that you've had with a woman. And you said some women say they want certain things and they don't. They don't want a masculine man. They want someone they can stand over and tell us how to think. So I'll address that as I go down the first comment that you made. Some women do. Some women do want men that they can be able to explain and, and be able to take over. But that's simply because you allow it. It's no different than a woman allowing a man to be able to be controlling and determine her next move, how she speak, eat, walk, work, where she be, who she talk to. It's simply because it is allowed. It's simply just that simple. If you're allowing a person to have that type of control over you, it's nothing that the person that's actually controlling you doing, is what you allowing it to be done to you. That's first off. And I myself, being a woman, I appreciate and definitely have to have a masculine man. Because as for a woman as myself, it's not the typical things that people say. He can, he's taller than me. He can pick stuff off the shelf, or he's stronger than me and he can pick things up. No, the reason for me that stands as a masculine man is to be able to lead. I know very clearly a lot of women may say, or you hear different ones say things, but Sip, I truly believe that just because you're saying you're the neck and he's the head, some women say he the head, but he don't know how to lead. Are you allowing him to, and are you stepping up to the plate to do it?
I wonder where that's coming from. I wonder if it's from, because I think it's a lot of within our cultures, a lot of brokenness from the house. All this shit is going on and how we grow up, especially in certain generations. Within the generation that we're growing up in or grew up in, mm-hmm. and the generations behind us, where the father, all this weird shit has been going on in our culture, mm-hmm. for the past 30, 40, 50 years. That's gotten to this point now where, mm-hmm. women are more emasculine and men are more effeminate, that type of thing, because of how we were raised, all those things. And excuses aside, the reality of it is that is the case. Mm-hmm. Let me see.
He said more. He said it does have something to do. Let him break it down. Okay.
So let me break it down, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. He said, first of all, I'm in tons of men groups that include thousands of men. They say the same thing. There are groups with over 50,000 men. That is what we talk about in the groups. And that is women saying things like, he did mention something about women want marriage, but then be the ones filing for divorce.
That's what he said.
So it's funny because there's this disconnect, which is why we talk about in my nonprofit organization. There's a disconnect where you got these women that want these type of things, but then complain if they want a man they can control, but then they complain about the fact that they control them, or complain about the fact they get walked over, or they file for divorce, or they do these type of things, and they say there are no good men out there. And I think obviously it goes on and on, like he said. I'm sure he's got a lot of this conversation goes on and on and on and on all across the globe. And there are men that want. He said, "This is not my opinion." I'll say, "This is not my opinion. To say this is my experience minimizes the fact that this is the norm."
Well, I don't think no one can really define the norm. I think things can happen a lot. I think it could be a lot of people have experienced the same thing, but everybody is different. Every woman is not like that. Because I can sit here and say that I'm in a lot of women groups, and they all say that Men do the same thing. They say they want a woman, but they cheat on them. They say they want to appreciate a woman, they value them and be there for them and be their communicator, their supporter. And then that person is lying, cheating, and hiding behind their backs. I think statistics, as you say, defines a lot of things. You're absolutely correct. So I'm just saying we can go back and forth. The men will say what they have experienced, and women will say what they have experienced. And I think that individually, you should have what your stance is on what you require and allow and accept.
Mm.
Because I do believe that women and men have experiences similar to the same. Men say they want certain things. A woman can be all of that, and yet he still do all the things that don't represent what he said he wanted or appreciated. Same thing with women. Women can say you want a man like this, or want a man like that, and then he does the same thing. So it's not about a man and men groups. It's not about women and women groups. The question really truly was directed, as you said, Sip, to women what they feel is an alpha male. So I guess why don't you explain where your questioning coming from?
Or if you could explain to me the to the best you can, or just explain to this, so I want it to be conveyed here, the purest form of what idealistically the relationship dynamic should be with a guy that is walking and living in his pure masculine energy, and his woman walking and living in her pure femininity. If you can, would that be? Because I think that things are the ideologies from the men's side and the women's side can be skewed, where women think that what we may be saying might be a little aggressive, or men may think what women might be saying a little bit aggressive, or overlooking or trying to overrule certain things. So if that could be a definition, and brother, I appreciate you giving this to it. I just want to be able to the point of the dialogue is to make sure I'm able to articulate that more specifically. Ideally, what would be the great, or that point of masculine energy, or that masculinity as a man in the relationship dynamic? How should that be conveyed, and then vice versa for the woman? Like, how do we interact? How do we communicate? How do we love and live together?
What would you define as an alpha male? That was the question. So I think that kind of would start, because like he said, alpha means nothing to him, as you know, in particular. But some men,
to me, I guess the definition of alpha male is somebody who I think it could be a little bit. I think it's a little convoluted to some degree, and I agree with him. What he was saying. Oh, here we come. Get me. Oh, the men do not love the woman. Oh, okay. Now this is an interesting point. Okay. And before I post that, I want to post your point. But I think the points can be a little convoluted. I think that time has evolved and changed. And I think because of the positioning that women are in overall, especially in our Black community, that has given them it lend itself to people feel they're or more empowered. The men that they've dealt with, the pool of men that they dealt with that either weren't handling business for whatever reason, their experiences made them be like, you know what, this dude ain't on point. He ain't handling business. He ain't protected me. All that kind of stuff. Also, he is kind of like a mama's boy. You know, I've seen guys that sit in the cars and let the girl pump the gas. So we got that kind of shit. And you got women that deal with these dudes like that. And then now their perception of a man is this type of a simp type of a dude. Now, or these guys that are more effeminate, that's more emotionally available, whatever you want to call it, they're going to get a guy that's kind of a little bit more detached or more direct with his verbiage, how he responds. They think of that as a more of an aggressive person. And somewhere in the middle of those, where a man is emotionally available to his girl, at the same time have the wherewithal and the bandwidth to be a leader in his family, knows what he wants, to set the foundation, to be the priest, provider, protector of his family. I think somewhere in line in that area is where in my opinion, where the ideal norm should be for a man. But I want to put this up here. He says men cheating doesn't mean that the men do not love the woman or their families. Also, women are incentivized to be oppressive, especially in the Black community. They're incentivized. Okay, Jada and who's Tia? I'm not sure. Also, women are incentivized to be oppressive. Okay, especially in the Black community. This government created a system to break up the family. People who have been incentivized to be oppressive are usually never satisfied. That being said, people can say whatever, but what they really want is for men to be vulnerable enough to trust them to put them in a space to be controlled. Mm.
I mean, I personally don't. Again, I'm going to say the same thing. And I will not speak on Jada or Tia or anybody else because I like to speak about things I know and not what I heard. I don't know what their situation. I think there's a lot of content and a lot of context that we are not made privileged to. I think it's just a lot of projections of what a woman say versus what she want and what she give to the guy. I think it's a lot of projection of what a man that some women would say, oh, he say he this and he say that and he don't do that. I'm not gonna even touch the fact of what men do as far as cheating and then they don't mean they love their woman or not. The reason is I'm not gonna even go there is because I feel like individually you make a conscious choice to do things, male or female. I am not against either or. I think that what you're trying to convey, Sip, is that how it looks like. Basically, if you are what you say, your representation of an alpha male and a basically an alpha woman, that what does it look like to have a normalcy type of relationship that looks like that is something real and not something said I want, but it's actually living that. Am I correct? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times it's simply from whatever you create it to be. A lot of people look at other people's relationships, which has nothing to do with us. Nothing. It has nothing to do with us. I don't give a damn about anybody else's relationship. You know why? Because that's not my relationship. We are supposed to leave other relationships alone. But you need to put the time and the energy while you're doing all that scrolling. And as you said earlier, that there is options. There's options everywhere for men and women. So the behavior and the belief system has been corrupted now. It's different to feel that if you don't do it, I get somebody else will. So much so, if you just had an argument about the damn Kool-Aid and it was too much sugar in there, you know what? Kimmy don't make the Kool-Aid right, but Sue can make it right. So at the end of the day, I just feel like that you have to create, and I still say this, I stand by this. Everybody can have the type of love life that they want, but every woman, from your experience to my experience to men and your experience to women, you can't say that's everybody because it's not.
He also says, I'm a clinician by trade. I deal with this for a living. I deal with the fallout. I'm saying that the Jada situation, the Tia situation are pretty normal. This is something that is common in the Black community.
Well, you can speak on that because I cannot. I don't know the Jada and the Tia situation. I see what's projected, but I just feel like I don't speak on anything that
Tia
I know for
Mari?
sure.
The girl, Tia Mari?
I think he's saying Tia Mari that they got a divorce recently.
Oh, okay. I thought something was going on. I thought I heard something about that.
Mhm.
Well, and so again, I'm gonna go back to what and I appreciate you, brother, being a clinician and explaining this, breaking it down, because I'm gonna go back to what we were talking about, recalibrating the thinking of Black thought.
Mhm.
And I think it's imperative, as you're a clinician, to I personally think from the root to the fruit to basically to recalibrate our thinking. Going back to what you're saying about how the government has put these things in place, um, that separated the family. Where he was stating something about women being, I guess, being in the oppressive state, maybe oppressing her man because of the whatever situation they're in. To say, okay, I need you to gone, because in order for me to get the receipts or the benefits that I need you out of the house or out of the situation. And therefore, in order for me to get these, I have to tell on you, or I have to put you under, I have to come after you. We had situations that people think that because of things they owe based off of obligation through relations and legal marriage, they think because you state certain things, or they're seeing that you're trying to oppress them, they think that you're trying to attack them. So I could see how that is a case, and people feel like, okay, I'm in this situation. In order for me to get the benefits that I need, I have to be against you. And being against you as female to the male, being against you is oppressive, because now you got them in a situation where you can't. They can't have a driver's license. I think they changed it though with child support, or they can't work, or certain things fuck them up where they are not affected. We push them in a situation, I think inadvertently put in a situation where they are being oppressive toward that male. Um, but I think beyond I guess the attitude for men, or like the whole. See, I look when I to the bare bones of it. I don't know if it's necessary to say, hey, come. This is just me talking. And forgive me for this. Hey, bitch, sit down, make me a sandwich. Shut the fuck up. To me, I don't agree with that vernacular or that opinion about your woman is made for some pussy, cooking, and rubbing my back and shutting the fuck up, give me some kids. So I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the mentality of certain people. For me, I don't necessarily look at women as pussy and food making and baby creating for me. I look at them as a partner. And like he said earlier, men want a woman with a good personality and they want them to look good. All that other shit, your successes is cool, but that's not. We're not looking for getting in a relationship with you because you are a successful person. Oh man, I'm gonna get with her, man. She got nice. Now, there's some cats out there, and maybe those are the guys that are kind of the soft ones that want that woman that's got that bag or something, or they're successful, but they can now, I guess, somewhat leech off of them. I guess I don't know, smash them and they make sure they got a car to ride.
But do you believe that a successful man can want another woman that's successful?
I can believe you want one that's successful, but if a woman that's being successful is a woman that's shitty to him. Because I'm a successful, I got some friends, and I love them, but they have an attitude, they have this vibe on them. I to this day am confused, but not necessarily so, as to why these relationships escape them. And there's things that I'm like, I don't know if I would date them, because of the type of mentality that they have. I don't necessarily need to be all docile and run up behind me and shit like that, but it's kind of like this real dismissive. I said something to somebody one time about a guy I know, and I'm like, the kind of man she want, this guy's got it. But he had a background. It was a nonviolent background, very good guy. I mean, a good guy, everything I know this person would like. And that background threw them off. They're like, nah, he shouldn't have did what he. I was kind of like, well, you're missing out on. Now, I'm not saying you should go to the gutter if you feel that's gutter, and go look into the in the whatever and find somebody. But I'm saying your attitude toward what you've done, or how you created your life, or the success you've had, is these wonderful relationships that seem escaping you, and it's because you're kind of poo-pooing on the people that really would love you. Because at the end of the day, the men aren't looking not leaders, masculine men, they're not looking for a woman to take care of them financially. This personally, there's men, some men just can't. I can't deal with certain people just buying me a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, but I don't need, what I'm saying? I don't need you coming running behind me. So in that regard, I think that, but I just wanted to, my deciphering measures, or my barometer, is the man that is the alpha male defined by his approach to the woman. As far as, I need her to be quiet, be a piece of pussy and some food, and quiet and peace, or is it the guy that says, hey, I don't need you to, because it sounds like what he's saying is he don't need a woman to be like, you could do that, but don't let that motherfucking degree make you think that I'm some sort of gump, and in order for us to have a relationship, I got to be soft and follow up and kiss up behind you. That's my perception. I could be wrong. Okay, I got to, like he said, is Papoose an alpha male? Is Will an alpha male? Women saying they want an alpha male sounds good, but in order for them to be in control, they have to break a man's spirit mentally and emasculate them. What kind of, see? And what's another thing that was fucked up? Remember I was telling you about all these guys that I knew. I really haven't had that experience with women that wanted to control me. But there's men that have. I've know powerful women that's got things going, but for some reason, they haven't tried to. But you know what? They haven't tried to put that over me. But also, I'm not really attracted to them like that. You know what I'm saying? Those type of women, like, they're cool.
What type of women?
The kind of woman that what he was saying, like these two people, like in particular, Papoose and Will, right? their women are that, I mean, like Jada Smith was out there doing some damn rock and roll. I mean, according to her, her best friend was Tupac. Now I don't know what was going on with that Pac thing or whatever, but and not that Pac was all for real, this rough running, street nigga. But they're a certain type of woman. If you think about it, they got a certain type of swag. So just like Remy Ma, and a certain type of chick. You know what I'm saying? And so I ain't never really wanted to wife nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I see them from a distance. That ain't really attractive to me. So, damn, this is a very this subject can go deep. No, it can go deep because
I'm okay. So I don't know what your questioning was that is making it what I'm serious. Like we're live here. So I'm saying I'm not sure what you're questioning, what you asking women versus what men saying that where we experiencing now the comment of a lot of things that's happening because we just was on here 2 weeks ago and we had all the women saying pretty much the same thing that he's saying about women, about men, same thing. So I guess I'm trying to see what you're trying to define regarding an alpha male. What is that you're
an
trying
alpha
to
male
define?
is a guy that don't need a woman to take care of him financially.
But what is your question behind it of this? That's what I'm saying. What are you looking for to get?
I'm saying that the woman, the kind of women that are those type of women, I personally haven't had those experiences because I think when I met them, I realized they weren't for me. Like it was two niggas in the room.
Okay.
But I never consciously thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of it like, man, it's this chick trying to be a nigga. I just like, oh man, you cool. We real cool. You funny as hell. I ain't finna, you know what I'm saying?
I just
cool,
feel
but
right. I think just like I just feel like there's a lot of different experiences that everybody had different experiences. And like you said, you haven't had an experience with a woman that you felt that wanted to control you or wanted to, as a commenter is saying right now, that you haven't experienced that, but he has, and he says he's in groups and he's from different men and he's heard different things. Again, I feel like every experience is different, but I truly don't believe that every woman wants a man that she has to emasculate, or want him to be,
I think
demasculate him to make him, break down his spirit mentally.
I think that every woman
don't want that.
I think that every woman. I think I want to eradicate the every to the norm. He was saying that more often than not, what he's running across is people who do kind of fit that bill. And so obviously, every woman probably don't want that. But for right now, it's the culture that's going ahead right now. Is a culture leaning that direction when women want a nigga like that. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody right now with Instagram and social media, which we use all this for our platform, for our business and shit like that, that's the norm. Try checking for that bag, making bread, blah, blah. These women want what they want and the kind of dudes they want, or the kind of dudes they mess with, probably guys that kind of roll with that shit. Let them tell them what they gonna do or what they ain't gonna do.
Well, that's a man that also don't know his worth. It's no different to me. It's no different. It's the same thing. I feel like that there's women that, are able to do certain things because that person is allowing them to, So I say a sense of normalcy for me is that it needs to be normal for whatever your normalcy is. If you haven't experienced that,
Right. What you missed?
Yeah.
Yes, what he missed. I was trying to. It just came to me. It just hit me real crazy because I was saying that I never had an experience where a woman was like, dogmatic or like trying to treat me like or trying to manage me or handle me and shit like that. I never had the experience. But I also thought about it from this standpoint because I know a lot of women, female friends, and I realized there are certain women that I don't look at them a certain way. As for my woman, I'm not attracted to them, even if they're beautiful and they got stuff going on. I'm like, man, I realized that I can't do that. But I never consciously thought of it from a standpoint of an emasculation standpoint. Like you this boss type of chick and you trying to boss me. I just it was unattractive. So I ain't even getting that situation where, what I'm saying, we're in a relationship and you trying to son me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid of a person or a woman being successful. I'm not necessarily looking for a woman that's successful, but I'm not throwing her off or pushing to the side either. So for me, it just kind of hit me like, damn, I ain't never dealt with that kind of situation or seen it where a woman that's successful or whatever tried to sum me, and the guys I know haven't, you know. But I do see how that could be. If a woman is successful and a guy likes them and they sexy and they sexing them up and all that kind of stuff, they found themselves in a relationship. Like, man, you know what's crazy? Not to even we was talking about that earlier. We were talking about the situation with old boy, the basketball player whose wife had an OnlyFans. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So his wife had an OnlyFans because she's like the money he was making.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't making it no more. Now he a retired NBA player.
Yeah,
So
but
now,
he went and then he went into it admitting that she was basically something else prior to marriage. And he said that's what it was, but he knew what it was, and he still, put a ring on it and married her anyway. And then her behavior, when he met her, he went back to that.
I want to hear. I want to put this up. What he said.
Yeah.
He said, when men have kids with women, supposedly alpha or not, for their children, they love, have to allow this behavior.
He didn't say love.
So,
he said for their children, they have to allow BS behavior.
Okay,
they don't.
Right.
They don't.
And they said women never hold. Here's another one put up here. Women never hold other women accountable for their behavior. They blame men for the behavior of women.
I do believe that men control the temperature of, and I feel that things have shifted and changed, that women are acting more like men, from the cheating to the lying to the deceptiveness, and they feel like if they're meeting him where he at, what he do, then therefore you can't do me like that no more. That's like a protective measure that they carry, and they are women are basically. They are having their own houses. They are more successful. That's why we did the show 2 weeks ago when Tyler Perry saying that you can give a man a chance if only he can pay the light bill. But I feel like that's what it's changed, that the men was not doing things and the women stepped up to do the things. And now it's like, what can you do for me? And then that behavior has just changed. But there are many successful women that I know to this day that definitely still represents that factor of wanting a real masculine man to be able to be their priest, provide, and protector.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't need to control him. They don't need to, bring his spirits down at all to make him feel lesser than a man. They respect him as being a man. And they love that masculine energy. And it is not coming from nothing but a place of being a woman and respecting that male. I don't feel like every woman is like that. I just don't, because I know a lot of women that's not, and they are very successful, very successful.
Yeah. Oh, so we got something. Oh, and then I know one thing for sure is that you do call out certain things. You call it as it is. A certain woman be on some bullshit and being one-sided or whatever. You actually call them out. And so do I. I don't necessarily side with just because you're a male.
Yeah, I'm not a gender sider.
Yeah, and I'm also not I don't pander either. Like there's certain things that I understand that I think, because I have a lot of female friends, understand how they think, and I can see it from both sides. My part of it is that, and I didn't look at it from what he's saying because I didn't have those experiences, but from the standpoint of being a male, when I say alpha male is one of those guys that look at women as a piece of ass, be in your place, blah, blah. But he brought up a good point. Like, you want your woman to be your partner. You want your woman to be your friend, and you want to be attracted to her. Those other things, being in the sorority, having any degrees or multiple degrees, having bread or a position, those are ridiculous pluses if they benefit the relationship and the person. Because of those things, if that woman is your friend and your partner and all those things, if those things make her happy and fulfilled, then you also have a decent relationship. She can do shit on her own, to have her own life, that kind of thing. And she bring a vibe to you. We finna go to this thing, we doing this, we doing that. She happy, she living her life, she has some fulfillment. So those things will help her. If she like her job or her career and she's making bread, cool. But what I want is somebody who fucks with me the long way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to me like I'm some sort of a simp or some sort of gump. And I ain't gonna do the same way. I don't want to come in here. I don't want a piece of pussy. That's it. I don't want you just to cook some meal for me. We can cook this shit together. Now, don't get it twisted. Do I want some sex? Yes. Do I want to be cooked Do I want food? Yes, but that's not how I relegate my relationship. And that's how I was looking from a very, very low frequency area when I talk about male, alpha male kind of concept. But from the standpoint of saying I'm a man,
Mhm.
this is what we're going to do. If you're an educated man and you're from good stock, I'm going to leave it like that, good stock. As a man, as a leader, priest or professor, provider, and protector, as those things, and you fucks with that man, you should know and trust that where he's going is going to take you to another level. Now, I was going back. I'm gonna go back to this Jada and Will thing. Somebody that said something. You got all these different speculations, right? And one guy was saying that he think that women, Jada was down for the fact of what he could do. That Will Smith put her in the playing level where she wasn't able to, open up doors she wasn't able to get to. So she fucked with him because of the fact that what he can do and that kind of situation, which means he is a provider,
Mhm.
And so in those regards, if you trust a man to say, okay, I'm gonna take you to these other levels, take you to higher heights, that's cool. But because of the fact that he had this thing with the Tupac, that kind of thing, because his image was a clean rapper. Tupac wasn't a clean rapper. He was supposed to be thug life. So now you trying to live up to this woman, trying to fill in some shoes that you don't really, that's not necessarily you. And that could be tricky. That should go really, really deep. Let me see. Let me put this right. See if can you read that? Let me say this: as men, we grew up around tons of women. We know how to treat women because of that. Women don't know how to treat men because they don't grow up around men who have authority, and the men that are around them collectively beat him up and spread him so thin because of the lack of men. They come up with reasons why they should come first. What you got to say to that?
I think that I think this gentleman is speaking strictly from his own experience. That's not every woman. I'm gonna keep saying that because that's not true. I'm not that type of woman. I grew up around a lot of men, got a lot of brothers, and have a lot of men friends. And I don't feel that that is the very lack of. I think that you have been inexperienced with some type of women that has gave you a feeling of some type of way, and I respect it because that's his experience. But I feel that every woman, just like I tell women the same thing, the men that you're dealing with and the things that you get in return is what you allowing and what you putting up with. I mean, you can grow up any kind of way, but you still grown enough to make that decision, how you behave, how you are. You don't have to put up with any type of woman that's controlling you or trying to de-emasculate you or anything of that type of nature, just like a woman don't either. But I think that you experience what you experienced that made you feel the way you do, as a lot of men that can agree with you and say the same thing, but it's the same thing for women. So that's why, Sip, I'm trying to hone in on where you were going with what you're saying about. There's a question that was asked to women as to what they feel that alpha male is. We're listening to a person that right now is giving his experience of what he feels how women is, and it's hard to engage with that because that is not something that we can, because that's his experience. So with that being your experience, authentic as we are, I respect that because different people have different experiences as being that person. But he's not saying he's alpha male. He's not saying any of that. He's simply saying the things that he have experienced with women and what women want and what they don't want and how they treat a male. And they, basically, as he said, exploit this and that. And I get it. But the same thing we had with the women was saying the same thing about men. They were saying the same thing about men. And I think both of them there's definitely some truth to both of them.
Okay. So men will have kids. He said, so when men have kids, they have their kids to lose. So certain behaviors they are forced to tolerate because they want to be in the lives of their children. The women know that they have leverage and they exploit this.
See, that's when I beg to differ. I'm going to tell you why. Because, and I say this all the time to all the brothers that I speak to, is that you lay down with this woman and have this relation and made a baby. And then it's your job to be that child father. It's not based on if you have a relationship with that mother. You want a relationship with that mother, then you take her ass to court to have a relationship with your child. That child should matter that much for you. I hear this all the time about how she won't let me see my baby. You don't need this. She don't need to let you see your baby. You are entitled to see your child. And you can't let child support define it either. But most people are not showing up for that child by going to court to make sure you have just as many rights as she do. But you're not pushing that effort. You're going the other way about having a relation with her. And that doesn't define you being a father. What defines you being a father is the fact that you can separate the two. So that is all up to you. You want to be in your child's life, then you make it to be in your child's life, and you don't need her consent to do that. The court can implement that, but most people are not doing that. They're just simply taking that response that if I don't do this and do that, and she's exploiting them. He's getting money. She's doing her hair. She's getting her nails done. She's going out. The child ain't got this. The child ain't got that. And then they saying that and they say, oh, I'm paying child support. Child support doesn't entitle you to see anybody. You have to make it your business to get your name in the place. You know that's your child. Your child deserves to have the love that they can have from you. And you have to be the one to do that. You do not need a yay or a nay from her at all. So men that are serious about being in their children's life, they can make that happen. Y'all have just as much rights as women do.
He's saying that he said, stop saying two things. He's in the group with 50,000 men, over 50,000 men. He's speaking on this thing collectively. This is a collective thought process. This is not my experience alone. Saying that this is my experience alone minimizes the reality.
Right. I read that part. Well, and I agree. I feel that you're speaking from a place of experience, just as I am as well with many women. However, I'm still going to ride the wave of that. I'm not gender based on, I don't bash either or. I think every individual have different situations. From that male group, from that female group of experiences that they've had, they collectively come together and say, hey, I experienced that too. Hey, I experienced that too. But I think things have changed, as Sip, you stated earlier. The reason why a lot of women are different in behavior and how they look at men, how they respect men, how they treat men. But I also go right back to it. I feel like the game doesn't change. It's just different players. And that is the requirement that you require to be treated. If you're that male that got yourself together in any shape, fashion, or form, you looking for a woman that got, say, just a big ass, or you want a woman to look a certain way. You don't care if she got a degree. You don't care if her credit score is under 400, but you want to be treated well and respected. That's you and you alone, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You require that, then you get that. But if you're selling for a woman that, hey, got herself together, she got a 800 credit score, but she treats you like, look, I get at you when I get at you because I'm me and this is how I am. And yes, my degrees mean everything to me. If you tolerating that, then that's still on you. I don't like how people individually come away from their very own mindset. So it doesn't matter if that's your experience, that's my experience. I'm going to act accordingly because what your need is and what mine is two different things. Every couple, every male, every female is different. And I do believe that there is a lot of normalcy now of the women having such a boss mentality because they have stepped up and doing the same thing men are doing, but that's just what it is.
So I got your message. You say, I think I got a good idea who you are again, brother. I don't have it. It don't say it on here. I know when I get done with the show, it'll show me. For some reason, Facebook stopped showing us the names of the people who are on Facebook. YouTube don't even show us that, so that's even the whole thing. But I'll talk to you, but he wants to talk offline. Good. I would like to invite you, though. We will do a follow-up show. I would like to invite you directly so you go on here and talk. And I want to give you that platform to really speak and then talk about the statistics you're speaking of right now, which I'll post in a second, and talk about your experiences. Not necessarily, I don't want to put it on your experiences, but the experiences that
men are experiencing.
That men are experiencing, that you are in communication with, or that you are reading and dealing with, and your clients. So I want to be able to put that platform where I think it's important to do. And once I get off and I find out what's going on, but I'm pretty sure I know who you are. Let's set that up. We can either do it in live, come to the studio, or we could do remote or whatever like that. But I really want to set that panel up and let's talk about it because that's kind of what we were trying to do in the next few weeks anyway. So, brother, I really appreciate you for coming on and stepping up to the game, stepping up to the plate and saying your thug thizzle. I'm gonna put on what you said right here. Statistics speaks to gatekeeping. Statistics speaks to abortions. Statistics speaks to divorce. Statistics speak to single parent homes. Statistics speak to child abuse. Yeah. So I really, and then and for the women that are out there, if you have something to say, what are you looking for, or what do you value, or what do you think is considered an alpha male? Is that what you want? And then again, what is that? What does that mean to you? You know, is an alpha male a person that, in my low freak, my thinking of it is somebody who's just who's relegating you to a certain position in life, a certain role in your life, or is a man that knows what he wants, knows how to get what you want, and know how to take care of you and the household. Considering you, see me, I look at it from a standpoint of I was taught and raised to I don't consider what her check is, what her money is. I don't count her money. You know, or I was raised not to count her money. As I gotten older, the relationship, being married for so long, we kind of rely on certain things and we deal with each other. We go up and down. My business may go this way, hers may go this way, and we kind of partner in that way. But as far as what I look for and what I expect, I don't trust that. I don't look to be reliant or dependent on number one. Number two, I have an idea, an ideology that I want for my family. I want it for my family. So I spoke it. I even had certain what I want my kids to study in college. And I said that. I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to buy houses over here. We're going to own these businesses right here. And we're going to do this, that, and the other. Even when it came to church and or not going to church was a part of what I did. And I looked at it as something that I wanted to do, something that I expressed. I did convey it and talk to it over with her. But at first in the beginning, no, I didn't. I'm gonna say I didn't really ask questions. This is what we doing, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? But it was funny because when certain things didn't go went awry, it was like, well, you know, it was your idea to do it. But that's a whole other story. On Fold New Gray, I think I know this is my man. I think I know this man. Right. Blessed to you both, man, brother. Again, I appreciate you, man. That was live. I love it. And like I said, reach out to you. I really hope you're open to sitting down with us, man. And I want to give the floor to you. And I want to hear, because I think if you're the guy I think you are, you got a show. And I would like we could do something back and forth with each other. That'd be dope. I don't think you've done it in a while, but you got a show. But that'd be great. But yeah, I was, man, you know, shit, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go over, kids are going to go in this school, all right? My daughter gonna be a ballerina. You know, she ain't gonna be no ballerina. I think at the time she wanted the daughter to do something else. And I put my daughter in martial arts. I'm like, I don't want her doing that ballerina. She can do that, but you know, I don't know. That's considered what that's considered. That's considered alpha male. If that's being a chauvinist, I don't know. What's your opinion?
I mean, I don't know. I think that you had an individual mindset as to what you wanted as your family. I think that everybody have a different definition of what alpha is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's your definition.
Yeah.
Is that I was going to basically run stuff. This is how my family was going to be. You was going to be that head.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's all.
Bottom line.
But you had to meet someone and have somebody in your life that you were able to lead and she could follow. And I think that is taught a lot. Everybody say that, oh, I'm the neck, he the head. And that's Bible. Everybody say all this stuff, but it goes directly from the Bible. But I'm gonna say, for me personally, I was so subscribed to that for so many years. And what I've learned throughout my years of experience is that I just want to be met where I'm at, and I need to meet that person where they at. And everything else falls into place. It's really just that simple. You know what I'm saying? If you want to wash the dishes and I take out the garbage, because that particular day, I was just right there. But if he said, you know what, baby, I don't want you to ever touch the garbage, I got it, then it is what it is. I'm just saying, I think a lot of relationships, a lot of connections are not staying strong because we got all these different belief systems that just don't make no damn sense. Where did you hear it from? Who told you to do that? Who told you to be like that? And there's so many different things and so many deceptions and misconceptions. And just stay in your lane with who you are and what you got. Work with what you got. If that's what you want, then that's what you go after. And that's what you be. But out of all the statistics in the world, it's not going to change or make anyone for who they are. Because I think people need to stay out of other people's damn business. So if you see other couples, you see different people, and you say I like the way they are because it works, because that means you resonate with something that's going on with them.
Right.
You like that, okay? But you still have to create that. If that's you, what you want for you. You know, I was just having a conversation with my sister earlier, and I was just explaining to her about the fact that men and women have these gender roles, and you get married and then you do this. They don't have the conversation before they say I do. They say that they have the conversation after they already said I do. So you had a pre-notion in your mind how you wanted this to be like. Just like you said, you had a notion of what it was going to be like. Now, either she fell suit and rock with you and it was done just that way, or you got the pushback and the pullback afterward, like, wait 1 minute. Because what you mean? You got my last name. This how it is. But I think you need to have those type of conversations prior to any type of commitment of whatsoever, especially marriage.
Right.
Because you don't want to be stuck in something or saying something, oh, now I'm all different, I'm this and that. But actually, a lot of people just don't want to get uncomfortable, Sip, and have the realistic conversations that you truly need to have to really have a successful relationship.
I think that's all this. That's that weird, like you said, the way we were brought up and shit like that, not having those conversations and stuff. Yeah. And we talked about it on one of our shows way earlier, a couple of months ago. We talking about those seven traits, family traits. That comes from that shit. When you put
the 7 toxic ass traits.
But those traits come from how your household was, whether you have male, father was there or not. There's still this thing where people don't talk about shit and put shit on the table because it's almost offensive, or you starting shit, or you being disrespectful. Fuck all that. You need to have a conversation. You need to know what's going on with that person.
Real conversation.
What's going on with you? How you like? And then a lot of times we need to. I remember one time, and we about to be done with this, but one time a guy was telling me, white guy told me that they picked his relationship based off what they need for their family was, based off of what their traditions were. He said, I wanted to marry a woman, whatever she looked like, that was his thing. And they got along, they had the same values, they were Catholic, they had this, they were that. Whatever he was a construction, he was a contractor, and his wife was a banker. And that's what he felt he needed. He didn't know about banking and orchestration and shit like that, organization, but he knew about building and contracting and stuff like that. And they were Catholic, and they were this. And he said they built up wasn't no big booty, big titties, or big dick, or big money. It was like, you have something that I need. I got something you need. These are our values. This is how we're gonna raise our kids. We agree on that shit. Those conversations of knowing who you are. A lot of times we don't know who the hell we are. A lot of times we don't know who the fuck we are. Our family all just discombobulated. Like my man was saying earlier, you come to these families where some women grow up without men. A lot of guys, some guys grew up, I don't know. A lot of us grew up a lot of women though, especially mothers, single mothers and shit. But a lot of women grew up around men that were doing stuff, handling business, that was respected, you know what I'm saying? That were at least part of their family on a regular basis. So you not knowing that, you grow up with these weird ideologies and you marry somebody and you don't even know that, like, this person wasn't the right person to marry. This ain't the right person to have a baby with. We have baby with these random ass people because they look good and they sexy, and it's like, yo ass crazy as hell.
Right. But then you walk around and say things like that. Well, women are like this and women like that. No, you made a conscious decision. Okay. That's all on you. I like people to take responsibility for things that you do. You made that decision. When you make that child, when you have that relationship, you can't say, well, I was young and I was dumb and I didn't know. Maybe so, but now you do.
But what if it's a situation where the person reveals himself over time? You say a thing all the time, people have their representation. Or you say
tell me some people meet their representation?
Or you say replica, I say representation.
Okay.
You see a person who's not there, who's not themselves up front. And so you fall in love with this idea of a person, and it's like, no, that ain't really me. I ain't knowing that I'm a scrapper. I'm a scrapper.
But isn't that most people? Most people say, oh, I got married too young. Most people say, oh, I stayed in a relationship too damn long. Or they say, you know what? I really don't like men. I like women. I really don't like men. I really don't like women. I like men. So I'm just saying, as time changes, as you just stated earlier, a lot of people don't know who they are. So that's why I think a lot of people say they want a relationship. You know, you need to be careful for the things that you say you want. And you get it, and you don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So I think that individually is where I stand. Everybody individually has responsibility for what they have and who they have in their life.
There you go. And listen, guys, we appreciate you guys. I want you to follow up with us. We got a show coming next week. Every week we're doing a show. Some of them right live, some are pre-recorded. But once you like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends. We are going to be hosting an event with our nonprofit organization, BPEP, Black Prism Evolution Project. If you haven't seen, it's posted all over Black Prism Evolution Project. I did a video about it, talking about what it meant and what it meant to me, what it meant to us. It's the brother or the little sister, or the I say little sister of Mitchell&Mitchell Sip and Spiel. And we're doing a concert. It's a free concert. We are looking for sponsors and donors. Yes. There's a free concert. So it's not a ticketed event. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be at the St. Luke Missionary Baptist Church, my dad's church in Robbins, Illinois. It's called the Gospel versus R&B. The artists are phenomenal. It's going to be Kevin Vassar. And so those of us who know Kevin Vassar, good friend of mine, brother, best friend for years, since 1991. All right, since 1991. And then my baby brother, RJ Mitchell, he's going to be, so Kevin is doing the gospel side. RJ Mitchell, my brother Rob, is doing the R&B side. And you know, I've been knowing him since 1982. Okay, so that's my baby brother. So, and so it's going to be a great show. I want you to come out and support it. It's going to be November 17th, 2023. So this year, 2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks from now, it's going to be at St. Luke Church. Doors open at 6:30. Concert starts somewhere around 7:30 or before. So it'll be a good show. We're going to have refreshments, things of that nature you can buy at the door or whatever. But come and support. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share that information. I'm going to have that out later. I'm going to have next few days and the next week, you'll see more information and advertising for that. But once you come support it for a good cause, we're helping young Black African-American male and females to get reinstituted or reintroduced to society, formerly incarcerated people and people who are also fighting cases right now. That's what we are about. We're helping young men get out of the system. Because once you're in the system, it's hard to get out. And once you're labeled, it's hard to get out of those labels. And we're trying to work to make sure people are getting out of those situations and learning not to add to that case. It gets really, really deep. Yeah. Because once you do one thing, it's considered violence, even if it's not violent. And once you consider violent, you don't get any of the benefits. So you got to watch those things. If you have any prior cases, we need to be able to watch those things. There are things you can do to circumvent that. We are raising capital and money to build that for our community. That's number one thing. And then also showing you how to get into trades, into business, technology, trade, and business. That is our focus. Technology, trade, and business. Technology and trade can go hand in hand. If you're on the technological side of it, which is, you know, systems or computers or whatever, that's fine. If you're on the trade side of it, was actually putting together the systems and stuff, that's fine. It's a lot of money to be made. Then owning your own business. You can be a business owner that's in business owner of trade businesses or technological businesses. That's what we're looking for. Getting you out of prison, stop you from going to prison, and when you get out, getting your life on track and preventing it in the first place. So that's what Black Prism Evolution is about. So we remember, thank you again, Mitchell and Mitchell Spill. Kim, is there something else I'm missing?
Nope, you're not missing anything.
Okay, so we got a few shows. I think next week, check us out live. We're supposed to be covering a women's survival meeting. I got to confirm that. We want you to follow us on that. And then after that, we're going to have a great interview with a brother who has been incarcerated and what he's doing with his life right now. It's amazing how these people are turning their lives over and doing some dope ass shit. So we appreciate you. We like you. We love you. We want more of you. And it's been real. It's been fun. And every time we do our show, every time we get down with y'all, and even though it took us a minute to get on, forgive us. Even with that irritation, it was still, I don't give a fuck what you say. It was still, in my opinion, in your opinion, it's always real motherfucking fun, regardless of how heavy the topic may be. We like you guys. We love you. Like, subscribe, share these more. We want to get out. We need to get our subscribers up, y'all. We on some next level stuff. If y'all did not catch our interview with Kaim, and we got some more interviews, Kaim Israel from Marvelous Film out in Atlanta. He's doing big things. He's got his own production company. If you want to get in the film business there, film acting coaches, there's productions, there's people that train you to learn how to write for film. Even though we got AI now, we're going to ignore that. Production writers, producers, and directors. There's a black man who's doing big things. Go back and watch that interview. Also with Coach Jana. That was dope too. She's the one that did the acting coach. She has a school in Africa, I believe, and she has one in the United States. Really dope. Support that. Go back and watch our videos. And then go back and watch some of our old videos. You see how we've grown and changed over the course of time. See some of our skits on Instagram and also on TikTok and Snapchat. All right. Again, we like you, love you. One more of you. It's been real. It's been fun. And as always, real, Mickey, Vicky, fun. Holla back at y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.